Imagine this. You're living peacefully in your rental home, paying your bills, keeping things clean, and minding your own business. But the person who's supposed to manage your home decides she hates you. She nitpicks everything you do, threatens your security deposit, and ignores urgent repairs. Well, let's just say she picked the wrong tenant to mess with, because not only did I get the last laugh, I got her rent doubled and her little job taken away. If you've ever dealt with a landlord boss, or Karen, who thought they held all the power, this story is going to feel so satisfying. Smash that like button, subscribe if you love a good revenge tale, and let's dive into how I turned my landlord's game completely upside down. Years ago, I rented half of a duplex from a man I'll call Mr. Thompson. He was kind, straightforward, and the sort of landlord you actually want to deal with. Fair rent, clear lease terms, no games. I paid a solid security deposit, moved in, and thought, this is going to be a good year. But here's the catch. Mr. Thompson didn't manage the day-to-day. That job went to his so-called on-site landlord, a woman named Giselle. Now, if you've ever read Nightmare Landlord or HOA horror stories on Reddit, you already know where this is going. From the moment I met her, Giselle hated me, and she didn't hide it. I found out later why. She had wanted her friend to move into my half of the duplex. Problem was, her friend's credit was terrible. Mine, excellent, so the owner approved me, and Giselle decided I'd stolen what she thought belonged to her friend. So, from day one, she made it her mission to make my life miserable. Imagine the world's most controlling HOA president living next door to you. That was Giselle. If one of my friends parked just a few inches over the invisible line on the driveway, bam, she was at my door, screaming, if I so much as laughed past quiet hours. Ding dong. There she was, tapping her watch like I was some misbehaving child. And repairs? Forget it. Appliances broke and sat broken. Rental checks I slipped into the exact same slot as always magically went missing. It wasn't outright hell. It was worse. It was death by 1,000 paper cuts. And yet, I told myself, I can survive this. I'll move closer to my job when my lease ends. Just ride it out. But Giselle wasn't done. She was just getting warmed up. Nothing catastrophic yet. But I knew leaks plus time equals mold, damage, disaster. So I emailed Giselle. No reply. I forwarded it a week later with a polite reminder. Still nothing. Finally, after my third message, this time mentioning that a plumber friend warned it needed immediate repair, she sent back the coldest, shortest response possible. I will look into it. And then, radio silence. She wasn't just lazy. She was stalling, trying to run the clock out, so the damage would be blamed on me when I moved out. Then came the cherry on top. A week later, as she watered her flowers, I casually mentioned the water heater. She didn't even pretend to care. Instead, she smirked and said, "You better keep that place spotless." I'm a stickler when it comes to final inspections. If you want any of your deposit back, you'd better pass a white glove test. Her message was clear. She was going to fail me on inspection no matter what. That's when something in me snapped. No more riding it out. It was time for revenge. A week before my last rent check was due, fate handed me the perfect opportunity. I spotted Mr. Thompson, the actual owner, strolling around the neighborhood. Giselle? Nowhere in sight. I walked over, thanked him sincerely for renting to me, and mentioned I'd be moving out soon. He was warm and apologetic, said he was sorry to see me go, and even offered to help with anything. That's when it hit me. This was my move. This was how I could end her game. So I asked, would you mind coming inside for a quick security deposit inspection, just to make sure everything looks good? He agreed. Inside, everything passed with flying colors, until we reached the water heater. I pulled back the closet doors, lifted the soggy towels I'd placed beneath it, and let him see the water damage with his own eyes. Then I said, in my calmest, most serious voice. I've been trying to manage this myself since Giselle never responded to my emails. But I'm worried about mold. Here's the email trail if you'd like to see. I handed him a neat folder of every ignored message, every repair delay. He flipped through, his face turning beet red. Finally, he muttered, "Okay, with what I've seen, I'm fine releasing your full security deposit." And right then, the final piece of my revenge plan clicked into place. I had one rent check left to pay, $750. My deposit, $500. So I said, how about instead of me giving you $750 and you giving me $500 back, I just pay you $250 and we call it even? He shrugged. Sure. Signed the papers. Done. A few days later, I slid my $250 check into the slot. And oh boy, when Giselle saw it, she lost her mind. She pounded on my door, spit flying from her mouth, screeching that I hadn't paid the full amount and that she could evict me if I didn't hand over the rest immediately. I calmly explained, with a little smirk, that the math worked out. $750 minus my $500 deposit equals $250. Simple. Her eyes went wide. She started sputtering about rules and procedures and how she had final say because she did inspections. That's when I dropped the bomb. Oh, the inspection. Yeah, the owner already did that. He signed off on everything. If you have an issue, talk to him. Then I looked her dead in the eyes, said, "Now get off my porch," and slowly closed the door in her face. Watching her brain short-circuit in real time was one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen. A few days before my official move-out, Mr. Thompson stopped by again to replace the water heater for the next tenant. As he worked, he casually mentioned something that made my entire soul light up. My daughter's moving into this unit. She's going to take over Giselle's role as on-site landlord. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, and Giselle, he shrugged, almost amused. She's moving out, said she can't afford full rent anymore. Translation: without the discounted rent and fake authority she got for managing the properties. She was just another tenant, and apparently, she couldn't handle the reality of paying full price. So the woman who spent an entire year trying to ruin my life ended up losing her sweet deal, her power, and her home, all because she tried to mess with the wrong tenant. That final image, Giselle screaming on my porch, realizing she had zero power left, still plays in my head like a movie. She thought she held all the cards. She thought she could bully me, threaten me, bleed me dry, and walk away laughing. Instead, she got humiliated, her rent doubled, and her job stripped away. And the best part, I didn't have to stoop to her level. All I had to do was be patient, smart, and let her own arrogance dig the hole she eventually fell into. Sometimes, karma doesn't need years to show up. Sometimes, all it takes is one well-timed move, and the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. So, what do you think? Did Giselle deserve exactly what she got, or do you think I went too easy on her? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if this story gave you that warm, fuzzy feeling of justice served, hit that like button, subscribe for more epic revenge tales, and share this video with a friend who's ever had a nightmare landlord. Because nothing's sweeter than karma served ice cold.